It is Health Monday with Jared and Jacob here on a Monday morning, the 14th day of September. Before we get to you guys, happy birthday today to Nathan Pascal, Kathy Brewer, J. Lee Evans, Fred Milam, Matt Roper, and Hubie Woods. Hubie celebrating a birthday today, and neither one of y'all are birthday, are you?
Where do you get those? Because I heard last week.
If I told you.
Okay, all right. It's some sort of secret.
It's proprietary.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good.
But, these are legends, what we have on here on our birthdays, too.
Legends.
Only legends. Yeah.
Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us today. Just in time, and I was telling Jacob about this before you walked in. You're always late.
Absolutely.
I was telling him this morning, I thought over the weekend about getting this done and this flu shot season.
It's time, right? I think I'm going to get mine this week as well. I need to
it's
be
time.
ready because the flu will be coming before you know it.
Yeah, and get it right there in the store.
Right there in the store, absolutely. So I would love to say no wait, but the pharmacy's been so busy, it may be a short one, yeah.
A very short way.
A very short one.
Now, are more people taking flu shots, you think, now?
You know what? We don't know yet. But the predictions for this year from the CDC and other organizations are that we will do significantly more flu shots this year than most years.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a good idea. We got, COVID circulating, you got other things going on. When you go to a doctor and you're sick, we've got to do diagnostic tests and try to differentiate between all the things that look kind of similar, and cutting your odds of any of them down is obviously a good start.
Yeah. So how does this work?
Well, the flu shot, and you've heard us say this on this program before, the flu shot introduces actually 4 different strains of the flu virus into your body. Now, these strains are killed, so don't worry about that, right? Which debunks the myth that you can get the flu from the flu shot. But it introduces 4 different strains of the flu to your body so that your body can produce the antibodies to those strains of flu. Antibodies are just the things that help your body fight off the flu should you be reintroduced to it. So it helps your body prepare should it see the flu again to fight it off. That's the best way to explain it.
Jacob, I'm telling you, I've had people to actually tell me that they wouldn't take the flu shot again because last time they took it, by cracker, they got the flu.
Let me tell you, if you think you've had people tell you that, if I had a nickel, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah?
No, and like Jared mentioned, it is a 100% inactivated virus, dead virus. No more, let's see how to word this politely. The flu shot, because it is dead, has the same chance of giving you the flu as one of the guests at Jimmy Dale's job at the funeral home has of getting up and doing something to him. It's not going to.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to. Now,
I didn't think that's where he was going with that.
Yeah. Can you get symptoms from a flu shot? Yes, you can get a flu shot in the next few days, not feel very well, feel a little low as your body reacts to it, even get some sniffles and things like that somewhat mimic a cold. Can you not feel well? Yes. You cannot get the flu from the flu shot.
So why taking the flu shot so important?
Well, the flu shot's important because it saves lives, it saves hospitalizations or decreases hospitalizations, it saves missed days or decreases missed days of work. This is about as important of it is the most important vaccine that there is, and it's just about as important as a drug as there is. In the United States, there are millions of flu cases every year. By the way, I do wonder if we're going to start counting flu cases, but that's a subject for another day. There are millions of flu cases every year, right? There are hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations, and there are 40, 50, 60, 70,000 deaths every year from the flu. And so the flu shot is the single best way, far and away the best way, to prevent the flu.
I haven't seen the studies, but I have been told that with COVID-19, and we're overemphasizing COVID-19 when flu kill more people than COVID. And the flu shot kind of taking a back seat, but But there's some serious stuff.
It is, and like we mentioned, I think it is going to come more to the forefront. In the United States, our season is roughly, October to March for flu.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get the flu shot out now because it takes a couple of weeks to become fully active in you. So, we can go ahead and take it in September, October. Let's get it in early because we're going to see that differentiation as we go. We need to cut down numbers of at least one of the two so that we can, not have conflicting things going on and additive things going on. We need to cut down our numbers as best as possible this year.
Jared, I do not want you to look at me when I ask you this question because you always
put your blinder
do.
up. Yeah.
Who should get the flu shot?
Old people. Who should get the flu shot? The answer is every single person over 6 months old, and that's very important. There are certain groups that are at more high risk of having complications from the flu. In fact, young children are one of those age groups. As you get older, particularly 65 and older, if you're just looking at age, the youngest of the young and the oldest of the old would be your issues, who has a worse time with it as far as age goes. When you start looking at medical conditions, you're looking at people who have heart disease, people who have diabetes, people who have some sort of respiratory condition like asthma or COPD. Those are the people that have the worst outcomes as far as their medical conditions. When you're talking about females, those persons who are pregnant, the flu is more dangerous, particularly to the child, for those ladies who are pregnant. So it's very important for pregnant ladies to be vaccinated against the flu. And those are the most high-risk categories there. Therefore, those are the people that's most important for them to get vaccinated.
Now, flu season for what? Again, September, right? Or when does it start?
The flu season itself mostly begins in October in the United States. But again, because the flu shot is not immediately effective when I give it to you, you don't walk out magically, free of getting the flu. We need you to go ahead and start getting it early. And that's why you see recommendations. The CDC says September 1st and onward.
So the quicker the better we get the shot, right?
It honestly, yes. There's some thinking and some, wait till October, wait till a little later to get it. But, the evidence shows, and the CDC of our nation is asking us to go ahead, starting September 1st, which we're obviously past, as it's the 14th today, go ahead and get it so that it is fully effective by the time flu starts circulating in the United States.
Now, both you guys give the injections?
Absolutely. Both us and our other two pharmacists at the store.
Okay. Yeah, I'm real good at it.
Yeah. And, basically pain-free.
Oh, yeah, look, when I was a kid, I felt like the needles were maybe about this big. These needles, these needles are small. I mean, there's very little pain associated with it. I'm not going to say there's no pain, but there's very little.
Okay. Is there any quick after effects to it as far as the shot itself?
Well, look, some people have some swelling at the injection site.
Right.
You give it right here in the deltoid muscle, right? There's some swelling at the injection site in some people. There's some redness, but that's actually very rare. I will say this, there is a high-dose vaccine that's available for people 65 years and older. We're actually out of it right now because we've had a lot of demand for it.
More coming in soon.
More coming in soon. That high-dose vaccine has more side effects at the injection site than the regular flu vaccine. But yeah, some redness and swelling potentially at the injection site. Like Jacob said, maybe some sniffles for the next couple of days. Maybe just feeling a little bit off as your body's getting adjusted to it and try to produce those antibodies, but very minor would be the answer.
Who shouldn't take the vaccine?
Very few. It's kind of the opposite of our earlier answer. Children 6 months and younger don't need to take the vaccine. They can't, which is why we ask pregnant women to get it. So for those first 6 months, the baby has some coverage after it's born. And then there are issues with people who have severe egg allergies. That's not an everyday occurrence. You don't have a lot of people with that, but there are some people out there.
What do you call it?
Egg, like eggs. Eggs, severe egg allergies. The way they incubate these viruses for the vaccine, they use eggs in the process for most of these companies. And so if you have a severe egg allergy, the recommendations are you still need a flu shot. You just need to get a couple of specific brands and you need to get it done in the doctor's office. But you still need to get a flu shot. So again, it really comes back to 6 months and younger, but other than that, get a flu shot.
With baseball the way it is now in Major League Baseball, when they have a doubleheader, they play 7 innings.
Are they
Did you
doing
know
that now?
Yeah. 7 innings.
With cardboard fans in the stands.
Well, that brings me to this point.
Where are we going with this?
Whether it's a doubleheader in baseball or maybe you're getting your flu vaccine, you can do a doubleheader in getting other vaccines as well.
Wow.
What a great
I didn't see
lead-in.
that coming. That's impressive.
I wasn't making that connection, yeah. I'm glad you said that, though, because the flu shot time is a perfect time to ask about other vaccines that you may or may not be caught up on. The next most important vaccine out there is the pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine. There are 2 different ones of those. Not to belabor this because we can talk about this in the pharmacy. But the next most important is the pneumococcal pneumonia. If you're above age 65, you've got to have one of each of those. We can talk about the timing of those when you come in. The flu and pneumococcal pneumonia are the 2 most important vaccines out there because those are the vaccines that will keep you out of the hospital, the vaccines that will save your life, okay? The next most common vaccine would certainly be the shingles vaccine. It won't save your life, but it'll save you a whole lot of heartache and probably heartache and pain and money as well, right? So the shingles vaccine, absolutely fantastic. Be sure to ask about that. And then probably the other one you want to ask about is the Tdap, which would be tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, commonly known as whooping cough. You certainly want to be caught up on that if you're around young children, particularly those of you who have kids or grandkids. So I would say flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, shingles, and then Tdap. You need to definitely ask about those.
You get them all at the same time? I mean, same day or what?
You can get multiple vaccines in the same day. I don't know, I'd go for 4. But you can get multiple. I might stop at 2 personally. But you can
Most
get
people
multiple.
don't want 4, but
Most people stop at 2 in a day and come back. But yeah, you can get multiple vaccines.
You get them in the same arm or different arms? Or?
I usually go opposites. If I'm going to do 2 on someone, we go opposites.
Depends how many arms a person has.
That's true.
How many arms is a factor? Yes, anywhere between 1 to 6.
That is a question for further discussion down the line. But Jacob and Jared join us from Marble City Pharmacy and Help Monday. Talk about the shingles vaccine just a little bit. I've never had shingles or anything like that, but I've heard of people. And it says some of the most severe pain you can have. So how does a shingles vaccine work?
Well, first of all, a person can get shingles if they've had chickenpox when they were a child. If you don't know whether you had chickenpox as a child, the answer is you did. Okay, seriously. Those of us, Jacob and I, are older than the chickenpox vaccine.
Are you 65? No.
I feel it some days.
I did turn 43 this weekend. The chickenpox vaccine or varicella vaccine has only been around for, I can't remember what year it was. Either way, if you're our age or older, for sure, you lived before the vaccine, which means you had chickenpox as a kid, which means you can get shingles as an adult because that virus just stays in your body for the rest of your life. And in some people, it comes back and manifests as a shingles rash, right? So the shingles rash is super painful. It has to be treated with antiviral drugs. And even after you get rid of the rash, sometimes the pain lingers around even for months. So it's a severe problem for some people, particularly if you get the one that occurs on the side of the face. I mean, you can just imagine how painful that would be right there. The shingles vaccine, though, is 90-something% effective if you get both doses. 2-dose series. If you got one today, you'd get another one 2 to 6 months later, but it's 90-something% effective in pre-market studies. That's pretty stinking good, right?
Wow. My cousin, Gail, she watches the show.
Goober?
I think she watches the show.
Goober says hi.
But I think it's her that told me she had it in her eye.
Yeah.
That is actually significantly more common than you think.
Really?
And it can be blinding. You can lose permanent eyesight. You get shingles in your eye, and you would be shocked at how often we see it. And that's why Jared's mentioned it occurring on the face. It's really common, and when you get it on the face, it moving over, a half inch and getting that eye, because shingles affect. Well, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here. Shingles affects roots of nerves. You get one deep enough on a root, it branches out. You're going to get the one that affects all. As it branches out to your body, it's going to affect this whole area as it attacks deeper down to the trunk of the root, right? And so, depending on where that shingles attacks, you're going to have it spread out throughout an area of your body. And if it gets the one that's going to affect the side of your face, it's also going to your eye, and it's very common.
I had another friend tell me that he was serious about this.
You believe he has friends?
I got 2 or 3. But he was very serious. He said that he contemplated suicide. The pain was so severe. And I just measured that, and I said, man, that's got to be some kind of pain.
Well, I'll tell you, the day that I turn 50, I'm going to get it myself. The FDA has approved the Shingles vaccine for people age 50 and older. And so if I were there, there's no question that I would get it. You know, when you start talking about the eye, I don't care what the vaccine costs. I'm going to make that happen because I'm not interested in that. You know, so and a lot of times that if there is a loss of sight with that, a lot of times that is recoverable, but do you really want to deal with that? I mean, I don't.
Get the flu vaccine. You can get it done at Marble City Pharmacy today as flu season officially kicks off, I guess, in October, but you can get that flu shot today and get ahead of the game, and you can also get multiple vaccines while you're there, and these guys are good at what they do. They just don't do much. They're good at it, though. And we appreciate both of them being here this morning. Before we go, where are we with the COVID-19? Are we getting over the top of the mountain, you think?
Well, it's a good question. Depends on who you ask. I mean, it's starting to look like we are getting over the top. You know, it seems like the cases are going down. There's no question that the hospitalizations are going down, even in Alabama, but definitely across the United States. So I really, really hope we're on the backside of this.
And Jacob, we talked back in March, and we didn't think it was that big a deal. A lot of people didn't think it was that big a deal, but look at us now.
Didn't know what it was going to turn into, and honestly, I'm still not sure what it turned into. And I think maybe 5 years from now, we'll be able to look back and put some data and go, how bad was it? Put some perspective on it and take out some politics and find out. Okay, I want to know what really it looked like, and I think it'll be a few years before we know.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thank you both for being here this morning. And also, our gift shop is open and just in time for college football. You got an Auburn, Alabama stuff in there?
Man, we got Auburn, Alabama stuff. I think we rolled out the Halloween stuff. I think we may even have the Halloween candy. I mean, you need fall decorations, whatever you need.
So y'all's pictures are on Halloween? That why you're...
How do you like this mask?
I'm rolling this morning.
You're on fire.
He got up good this morning.
Oh, yeah. Thank you both for being here. Jared Jacob from Marble City Pharmacy, our guest on Daybreak Live. Got much more to do on the show right after you watch this.